important is it to grab a talented middle school student, that's transitioning into high school, is going to have a whole lot more demands on their time and their interest, and then young people in high school to show them, that their music life doesn't have to end after high school if you're not going to make it a profession.
Well, I think it's really important, from our perspective, hoping to perpetuate this group and other groups like it. It's tremendously important. We want them to experience the joy of participating in something like this, and to see that there really are adults who do this and enjoy it, and it's something that they can continue to do.
Can you see yourself playing in a city band?
I mean, I could, because my sister has thought about doing it, and ever since my director asked me or nominated me to be in this band, I've been excited about it, so I might.
How cool is it to get to sit next to your grandpa and play?
Yeah, like I practice with them, but it's kind of cool to get to actually play in a band with them and perform with them.
But you've got a number of young high school age members.
We have high school age students and,
you had
and college age.
12-ish, middle school invited, 10 or 12 participating tonight. Mm-hmm. How many of those can you reasonably expect to, someday, whether they're sitting in this band next year as a regular member, or someday down the line when they're a parent themselves, being part of a group like this based on this experience?
Well, of course you can never say for sure, but I would hope, they were all nominated because they're talented students, their directors chose them to participate because of their ability. So I would hope, it's probably not realistic to think that all of them will, but I'd sure love to see that happen. And whether, obviously not all of them will end up living in Burlington, although I wish they would. Wouldn't that be neat? But wherever they go, this ability that they have, there are community musical groups everywhere.
Who thinks this is really cool? In a community like Burlington, across Iowa, which is an aging state, and you're in your middle 30s in a group, in a civic organization, you're often the youngest person in the room.
Sure.
There are a lot of people in this room tonight younger than you.
Yes.
How gratifying is that to both of you?
Extremely gratifying, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're well, Mark's comparatively young. It's all part of your perspective, but from where I'm coming from, it's so great to see young people, coming along and maintaining that tradition, because we old folks aren't gonna be around to play in the band forever, and we want to perpetuate it. We want to know that it's going to continue when we're gone.
Right.
There was almost as much laughter in this room as there was music tonight.
Yeah, well, I think that's absolutely true. We have a good time. We really do. Sometimes from the perspective of the conductor, you wish they'd pay a little closer attention instead of having such a good time. But actually, that's really an exaggeration, because when it's time to get down to business, they really, the band is having a good time, but when it's time to play,
but it's not work. These are people that want to be here, and they're having a good time doing it.
Exactly.
And that shows through the music.
To be here. This is
passion.
It is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
People here.
And from your perspective as a younger member of the band and a younger member of the music community in Burlington, what do you see as being the role of a city band in a community like Burlington?
Right. Well, and I think to some degree, every society from a historical perspective, you think the things that stand the test of time, that tell us what a society is about, is the art. And I think the great thing about community bands in Iowa, and Iowa has a really rich tradition in community bands, is that it's part of our culture. You think about the Music Man, Meredith Wilson, just that Americana that represents Iowa. And it's something Iowans really hold dear to, that, and recognizing the value in our community of having some of that we slow down a little bit, and we actually enjoy life in Iowa. And I think that's what makes our state so great, and what, in my opinion, in my 2 years here in Burlington, has been a great part about this community as well.